Hey headphone people, welcome back to the channel. MrAyrit here. Got a review for you that I'm very happy to do. It's a headphone that, really got some pretty bad publicity when it first came out, and I think, maybe that's evolving as people kind of take it apart and mod it and figure out, kind of what happened with it. But the headphone I'm talking about is the drop Sennheiser 8XX, and I actually think it's a phenomenal value, and I don't know, it might be my main headphone here going forward just because it is such a good value and it's a really good performer. So we're gonna dig into this headphone. We're gonna look at how mine was modded, or how I think it was modded, because I bought mine used, of course, for $650. So you're talking a Sennheiser 800 series headphone for under $700, and I've seen numerous examples on the used market for that price, which means I think you could probably get one for that price too. So let's talk about this headphone and let's try to figure out what's going on with it. Okay, so real quick here, I just want to show you the box that it came in. It's really nothing like super special. It's basically, if you've bought a 6XX or something like that, like it's pretty much the same type of a box, right? So this came in another sleeve that had, a picture of the 8XX on it and stuff. And then it came with a pretty big owner's manual here. I didn't even open mine, honestly, but it's there. It's there if you want to look at it. So, packaging is fine. Nothing super of note there. Let's take a look at the headphones themselves. All right, so these, they're basically, in my mind, pretty indistinguishable from the other 800 series. I reviewed the 800S a while ago, so you can check that review out. I'm sure there's subtle differences in the design language, or maybe slightly in the colorway, but honestly, it's pretty much exactly the same as far as I can tell. There's no significant differences. Of course, they're known for being huge, having these huge cups, but the cups are actually, very narrow. So if you compare them to something, so look how low profile that is on my head. Now, right next to me here, I've got the Atticus, right? And let's look at the difference there and look at that thing. So, even though they have big cups, they're still, they're extremely lightweight, and they don't, when you're using them, they just don't feel like a huge bulky headphone, which I really appreciate. I feel like they have all day comfort. I feel like I really like the pads that come on them are fine. They're kind of like a micro suede material. I've got some Geekria, I think that's how you say it, leather pads on here, and I really like those. I find them a little bit more comfortable. I did not find them to alter the sound really in any significant way, and I bought those used for like $30, so that was a good deal too, I thought. They've got a little bit of articulation in every direction, which means you're probably going to be able to get them where you want them to be, right? Headband, you've got plenty of adjustment there. I've got a fairly small head. You can see they've got, some notches there, so you can kind of keep track of where you want your spot to be and all that stuff. I don't know. I really like the build of these. The one downside to the build is this metal material here, and you can see that mine, I don't know if the light's catching it correctly or not, but it's already like a little, it's getting like some creases and things in it. I know it's prone to denting and things like that, and honestly, mine's doing the same thing here, and I haven't been rough on these headphones, but it doesn't seem to really alter the sound in a significant way if you get a few little creases and crinkles in there. And since it's coming down in price to under $700, I think, at least for me, it's not feeling like as tense if I put a little crease in it or something like that, or if I see a new one. It's not, I'm just going, I got a great deal on these, so I don't really care. What else? I suppose, I better show you this just because any of my high school students that are watching that happen to come across this video will probably get a kick out of it, but I actually have serial number 00069, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you're welcome if you're watching. So Cable. I hate the cable. It's not a bad cable. It's just, gosh, it's gigantic. It's like 12 feet long. It's fine. I mean, I don't, like, the materials are good. The plugs are good. I don't know. It's an okay cable. It's just, I would just wish that if companies were going to include, like, 10, 12 foot long cables, I think they should put in another one, right? Like something that's 6 feet or less in there too, just to give you another option, because I've been just addicted to this headphone and I've been wanting to listen to it all the time, which means I'm carrying it around my house to different locations and I'm like dragging this cable with me. I don't know, it frustrates me. So I went ahead and bought a new cable for it. This particular cable is, you know, it's a braided rubber cable. I bought it used. It's about $75. It's supposed to be, you know, like OFC, silver plated, things like that. I'm not sure it makes a huge difference in sound quality. I'm still kind of developing my thoughts around cables and sound quality and doing testing on that. But I can tell you this cable is 4 feet and man, it's just way more convenient to use for me personally. And what I've done, because I want to use this with tubes a lot, right? They're good with tubes, is I ended up getting an XLR cable, a 4-pin XLR, and then this is just a new Fantasia XLR to 1/4 inch adapter, and that works really well. I find that setup to be pretty convenient because the two main amps I'm using it with right now are the Felix Audio Echo Gen 1 and then Liquid Platinum that I just did the capacitor mod on. And I'm still developing my thoughts around that as well, but that'll be a video at some point here. Both those amps will get a video. Okay, I think that pretty much covers everything I want to cover build-wise. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about before we get into sound, just so you know what these headphones are and like just know a little bit more about like this 8XX saga, I guess, that's going on, because when it came out, quite a few prominent reviewers, pretty much every prominent reviewer from what I saw, like just bashed them and said pretty much like botched it, and that even though they were cheaper than the other 800 series headphones, you should just spend the more money and get those, because like the frequency response was just totally screwed up on these. And so I don't know, I don't think very many people bought them. Then there was one day where Zeos dropped like, hey, if you use this code you can buy these for $700, which was crazy, and I tried to buy them then, but I didn't get to it soon enough. So anyway, used market, $650. Now mine have the sticker mod, okay? So it's because I didn't do the mod and I don't have another set, I can't say exactly, you know, the differences before and after, but I can show you this photo that I found on the internet of what I think this is a stock photo if you take the pads off of the 8XX, and then I'll show you what mine looks like. So I'm just gonna remove the pads here. They just, you know, they need a decent tug on them. But they do just pop off. It does make me a little nervous doing it though, to be honest with you. They don't come off as easy as I would like them to come off. Oh man, I've never removed these Geekria pads either, so. Oh, come on. Now I'm nervous about it.
20 minutes later.
Wow, the stock pads did not come off this hard. Whew, got it. Wow, those things are really on there. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the little like cover in there, and now you can see. All right, here's the inside of the headphone, and you can see there's like one little sticker down here, but there were a couple of more stickers in there. And I guess what people are saying, from what I can tell, is that if you remove these stickers, basically it's an 800S. I mean, I don't know if that's true. That's what I saw on the internet, and this is what mine look like. Okay, so this is how mine have been modified. And I tell you, once that mod's done, I mean, I don't know how much difference it's made or what, but I love these headphones. So let's start talking about sound here, and I'll tell you what I like about them. Okay, so first thing to know about these are they are 300 ohm headphones, and you know, if you know anything about Sennheiser headphones or have heard anything about them, you know that they usually play pretty well with tube amps, and a lot of people think, you know, that's the best way to listen to them. And I have to say that that's how I have been enjoying these the most, is again with my Liquid Platinum and with my Felix Audio Echo, but I also have used them with the Mojo 2 and with the Bioelectric V280 Final Edition. So I've been using it on a lot of stuff, and I mean, I really think they sound great on everything. So what are you getting for sound with the 8XX once the sticker mod is done to it? Because again, that's the only way I've heard mine. I think you're getting an incredibly well-balanced headphone. It definitely isn't like a bass monster by anything, or it definitely isn't a bass monster by any means, but the bass is present and it's full and impactful and like extremely well textured and extended. So like I think the bass is really good on these. I feel like I don't ever feel like it's lacking. I feel like it's like the appropriate amount. Now, if you're a bass head, these definitely aren't probably gonna fit your niche. But like, you know, so something like the T60 Argons are just gonna slam way harder than these are. But you know, that's kind of one of their things, right? So the bass I think is very good. Vocals I feel like are just, I mean, the timbre is spot on. The level of detail and resolution throughout the whole mid-range, vocals, strings, piano, all that stuff is just really, really delightful. And it has, you know, like a little bit of a leading edge or like a bite to it that just really just kind of makes you feel, I don't know, it's almost like a visceral like experience, right? To kind of hear it, and it just makes you really feel like you're close to it, you know what I mean? Like I don't quite know, I'm not articulating it well, but there's a presence to it that just really engages me. And you know, it does, if we get into the upper frequencies, I would say that it does tilt, you know, it is a brighter tilting headphone, I would say, but because it's so resolving, you're just getting so much detail and resolution there that it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it's maybe like, if I were to be an EQ person, and I'm not really, maybe I would take those higher frequencies down just like a couple of dBs. Just to ease up on it, at least maybe in some certain circumstances, I would do that. But I mean, really, I think it's a pretty well tuned, to my ears, headphone. Like, I think it all sounds balanced, but really what the selling point is on these guys is just the amount of clarity and separation between everything that's happening. It really engages you, and then everything just, absolutely nothing bleeds together. And you can go, like, I was listening to the Philips Fidelio X3s, which I think that's another headphone that got kind of a bad rap off the bat, and I don't know, again, I'll do a video on that here. But I was listening to that, and I was enjoying myself listening to that. But then I switched to the 8XX, and I was like, wow, like, you can really tell making that jump. I mean, obviously it's a big jump in price and things like that, but that was the standout to me of like what this is doing different than other things, is it is just so clean and clear and just separated. And obviously it's a really wide headphone too, so there's a big sound stage there to play with. I mean, gaming, it's a phenomenal gaming headphone, just like you've heard about the 800 series headphones. I still don't know if it's like takes my top spot. I really do like the Hi-Fi Man HE560 for gaming. I think though, now that I have like this, I mean, I think this is one headphone for me that I feel like can be a legitimate like do-it-all headphone. You know, I like it for music, I like it for gaming, I like it for watching, you know, media content and movies and things like that. Just everything I feel like this does really, really well. And I don't know, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just loving it. And I feel like I got a phenomenal deal on it. And, you know, if I'm just being totally honest, that factors in to how much I enjoy a headphone. Like, I enjoy high-end headphones. You know, I've got my HE1000s over here that I really enjoy. But, you know, I paid, like, a lot of money for them. And so, in the back of my head, I'm always going, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You know? With the 8XX, I just feel like I got a screaming deal on them. And I feel like they sound phenomenal. Like, I think I actually like them better than the HE1000. The HE1000 does a lot of the same things that the 8XX does well, but it's a little more distant, it's a little more laid back, it's a little mellower presentation, to the point where, I don't know, I don't find it as engaging as I do the 8XX. The 8XX, I feel like, just really presents music in an engaging way, and I don't feel like there's anything that really detracts me from the experience. I just feel so, it's weird to say it because it's a wide headphone, but it can be intimate too, as far as like, you know, vocals coming into the center stage and things like that. And it really just grips me when I'm listening to it, and I don't know. It puts me there, you know? And I think for me, that's really what it comes down to with like a headphone, is just, can I put it on and can I just get there? You know what I mean? Just get into it, get so into it that like I stop doing anything else and I just sit back, close my eyes and just kind of, you know, take it in. And these do that for me, and they do it for me on a variety of different sources. It's not like I have to run them through, you know, a $1,000 DAC and a $1,000 amp. I have spent a ton of time this past week listening to these guys through my Liquid Platinum, which I bought for $300. Driven from source was a Modi multi-bit that I bought for $150 to $650 headphones. So you're talking about what? You're talking about $450 for DAC and amp, and then you're talking about $650 for the headphones. So that is almost $1,000 setup. It's a little more than $1,000 setup. And boy, I don't know what would beat it. I don't know what else could possibly beat it at that price range for those things. So I'm sold. I think it's an amazing bargain. I don't know why it got so much crap when it first came out. Maybe taking those stickers off made all the difference in the world. Maybe. I have no idea. All I know is that mine has been sticker modded, and I bought it for under $700, and it's like my new favorite headphone. So, I mean, you know how I am. Like, I buy and sell, and I love something, and then I try something else, and I love that. And so take that favorite headphone thing with a grain of salt. What you need to know is it is absolutely worth every penny of $600 to $700. And if you're not afraid to take a sticker off or two, gosh, I say go for it and give it a shot, especially if you've been curious about the 800 series Sennheisers. There's never been a better time to pick one up and give it a shot, in my opinion. And, you know, pair it with something like a Liquid Platinum, and boom, you have got a really, really phenomenal setup for not a lot of money. So, and you know what's great is, like, I do feel like they respond to tubes fairly well too. So I've got, I mean, if you can see here, let me scooch my keyboard over. Yeah, I've been buying tubes like a madman, which sucks right now because tubes are kind of hard to come by and they're expensive. But like, I'm loving the whole process of just having a headphone that I'm super engaged with, and having a couple of tube amps that I'm really loving, and just rolling tubes, trying different things. I'm just having a ball with it. So, highest recommendation I can give you, if you can pick one of these up for under $700, I'd pull the trigger. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And yeah, I think that'll do it. So, these are currently, like, again, will they stay my top pick headphone? I don't know. But right now, I wasn't even planning on doing this review yet. Honestly, I got a bunch of other stuff I should have reviewed before these, but I just figured I better do it because I just cannot stop listening to these. Like, I'm just totally, this is all I want to listen to, is these guys on a tube amp. So that's where I'm at. I hope this helps. Comments, questions, thoughts. Do you have the 8XX? Have you done the mod actually? Do you have an 8XX and an 800S that you can compare side by side? Maybe comment on that down below if you've got that stuff. I have an 800S review that you can go back, and I'll link it down below and you can watch that. I didn't feel like I wasn't as into that headphone when I had it. I don't know, different amps, different DACs. Maybe this does sound a little bit different. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I don't have another one to test against it. All I can tell you is I'm really enjoying this headphone, and I'm struggling to understand why it got so much crap when it first came out. So that's my take on it. I hope it helps you. If you're on the fence or if you're wondering about it, hopefully this will help nudge you in the right direction, and then you can get it and hopefully love it too and share your opinion. But either way, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate you watching the review, and I will see you in the next one.